Today, I'm going to share 3 easy apple dessert recipes with you, and I've got the blog post down below which has these recipes and more, so click through for that. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, comment too. Let me know your favorite way to enjoy apples. So I'm going to get started with this baked apple slice recipe that's super easy and has only 4 ingredients. Let me chat you through the ingredients and then show you how to make it. Now I'm starting out with apples over here. I'm using Royal Gala apples just because I found them at Aldi and they looked nice and luscious and delicious, so I've gone for them. You can go for green apples, Granny Smith apples, you can go for Pink Lady, you can go for red apples, cooking apples, really any apples that you like is what you can use. I'm using cinnamon for flavor because apple and cinnamon just goes so well together. We're going to melt a little bit of butter to make a nice creamy, buttery, sugary, cinnamony mixture to coat the apples in. So I am using demerara sugar, which is like a raw brown sugar, as my sugar. You can use any sugar you want. You can make it sugar free and use stevia or any other substitute. It is up to you. Or you could do a mix and have some brown sugar, demerara sugar, raw sugar, and a bit of white regular caster sugar. It is up to you, and all the information will be in the blog post down below, all of the ideas, and there's loads of other ingredients you can include in this too. But yeah, these are the 4 core ingredients, and I've got the oven preheating behind me to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, and I'm going to seed the apples in a little bit. We're going to start by melting the butter with cinnamon and sugar. So I've got 30 grams or about an ounce of cubed butter, and to that we're going to add in 1/4 cup of our demerara sugar. Use, as I said, any sugar you like. I'm going for 1/4. You can go for 1/2 cup, really depends how sweet you like your sweet treats. 1/4 cup is perfectly good enough for us. And also add on 1 to 2 teaspoons of cinnamon for lovely cinnamon flavor and goodness. And now we'll just get this on to melt. So just kind of keep melting it, push all of the butter down to get it all nice and melted, and you just cook it until you've got a lovely melted mix of sugary buttery goodness. It's barely taken a minute with constant stirring to get the butter to melt. The last of the butter is just melting now. Alright, that's all melted, and now we'll set it aside while we see to our apples. Now to see to my apples, I've got my apples over here. I've got my baking dish that I'm going to be using. I've just lightly greased it so that nothing sticks. Now you can keep the apples with the peels on, with the skin on, or you can peel it off. I'm going to keep it on for the fiber, and it also just looks nice and pretty with the skin on. So I'm just going to get on and chop as many apples as I need to fill up my dish. I would suggest have 2 to 4 handy, and just, yeah, depends on the size of the dish and how many people you'll be feeding. So I'm just going to get on and wash and chop all of my apples, slice them up and get them into the dish. So the apples are all sliced up. I only actually needed 2 of those rather big apples sliced up nice and thin, and you can see all the color from the apples, which I quite like. And now I'm just going to top it with all that lovely cinnamony, buttery, sugary mixture. So I'm just going to pour the mixture over and then just spread it to distribute it in every corner. The lovely cinnamony buttery mixture is distributed amongst the apples, and now you can pop it into the oven, which again is preheated to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for 20 to 25 minutes, or until the apples are cooked through and lovely and golden, which I will show you next. My baked apple slices are out of the oven. The house smells pretty heavenly, and this can be enjoyed just on its own, or you can top it with some cooling ice cream or whipped cream, or even a bit of plain natural Greek yogurt for a bit of a healthier topping option. So that is my first of 3 easy apple dessert recipes. Keep watching for 2 more delicious apple treats. And my next apple dessert for you is gluten-free apple crumble with ground almonds, flaked almonds, nutty goodness. It is so good. Let me chat you through the ingredients and then I'll show you how to make it. I've got 4 apples here which I'm going to be using. I've got some unsalted butter, but if you would like to make this dairy free you can use coconut oil instead. I have got ground almonds, maple syrup. If you want to make it lower carb you could use stevia instead, but I'm quite enjoying maple syrup lately. And I've got cinnamon and toasted flaked almonds. You could really use any nuts you like. I've made this before with crumbled walnuts. I've made it with all kinds of different nuts. You can just crumble them up. I like them flaked like that. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to get on and prepare the recipe for you, starting by melting the butter. So I've got 50 grams of butter melting slowly in the saucepan. I've also popped the oven onto 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. And as soon as this is melted, we'll take it off the heat and move through and add all the rest of our crumble topping ingredients together to mix through. So I've got my melted butter, and to that we're going to add the rest of the crumble ingredients, starting with 3/4 cup of our ground almonds, a cup of our chopped almonds, which smell pretty incredible, and then we'll do half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of cinnamon. Just depends how cinnamony you want it. I want it kind of in between that, so that cinnamon will do. And then 1/4 cup of maple syrup, which I find to be definitely sweet enough for me, but you might want it sweeter, you might want not as sweet, so just add as much as you like. So we'll just give it all a stir through to make our lovely crumble topping. This smells pretty amazing, and you can of course use any fruit you like as well, but of course I'm using those lovely apples today. It's a nice chunky crumble topping we've made here. I'm happy with that. So now we're going to see to our apples. I'm going to be using this square baking dish for my crumble, but you can use a round one, whatever you like. Now for the apples, I'm going to pop the core out, peel, chop, and we're going to place them all around our square dish. Just like that, and I've just peeled, chopped all of my apples, filled my dish, and now we'll just pop all of the crumble topping all across the top. I'll just kind of scatter it around and then just make sure that it's completely distributed to every corner of the apple crumble. So yeah, I will show you the completed one next. There you go. Now it's going to go into the oven for 25 to 30 minutes, or until it's nice and crispy and the apples are nice and soft, and we've got a lovely apple crumble, which I will show you next. And my apple crumble is out of the oven. It smells incredible. It's so crispy. You can see all of the apples poking through over there, and I'll just let it cool for a few minutes and then I'll serve out a portion. And I've served out a portion. Look at all the beautiful apples and the crumbly topping, and you could enjoy it just like that, or top it with some whipped cream or ice cream or coconut cream, whatever you like. I have got some whipped cream that you can buy in Ireland just like this. It's already whipped cream, so I'm going to pop a nice generous dollop on top, just like that. Beautiful dollop of whipped cream to enjoy with my apple crumble that's gluten-free. So that's how to make my super easy nutty apple crumble dessert recipe. And next I have easy apple and cinnamon muffins that make a healthy sweet treat to make and enjoy. Let me chat you through the ingredients and then show you how to make them. We've got apples over here. I've got some lovely red apples. You could really use any that you like to in this recipe. I've got some butter here. I chopped it up a few hours ago, and I've just been having it in the kitchen in this bowl, just softening up, so then it'll be perfect for blending. I'm using demerara sugar, which is just a raw sugar. You can use brown sugar. This is just unrefined cane sugar, so brown sugar, any sugar that you like, just give it lovely flavor. I'm using what's known as bread soda here in Ireland, but it's baking soda, bicarb. It's the same thing. I've got some baking powder just to help the muffins rise a bit. We've got a couple of eggs, and for flour I'm just using plain white flour. You can use wholemeal instead if you want to. For flavor, we've got some vanilla and lovely cinnamon. Have to have apple and cinnamon, just perfect. And I'm going to use milk, but if you can get hold of buttermilk, definitely could use buttermilk instead, or sour cream, or even yogurt as well, whichever you like. Milk just is the super easy option. We've all got milk in our fridge. So now I am just going to put it all together. Before we get started actually preparing the mixture, I've just lined a baking tin with 12 muffin liners, and I've got the oven preheating to 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, so it'll come up to temperature by the time I'm ready. We'll start with our butter over here. I've got 125 grams of unsalted butter. We'll add in a half a cup of sugar, and we'll just whisk it until it's creamy. Okay, now we'll add in 2 eggs, teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 cup of milk. And we'll just gently whisk that in. That is perfect. And then we'll add a good teaspoon of cinnamon, teaspoon of bicarb, and a teaspoon of baking powder. And we'll just whisk that in to fully incorporate it. There you go. It smells so good and cinnamony already. Now I'm just going to remove these out and we're going to mix in the flour and the apples. So we're going to add in 2 cups of flour and just mix it all through. Here we go. So we've got a lovely muffin batter, and now we'll just add in the apples. So for the apples, I've peeled, cored, and very roughly chopped 2 of those lovely red apples. You could grate them if you want. You could do 50-50 grated and chopped if you want to. It is completely up to you, but I'm quite happy with them just like that. So we'll get our muffin batter back over here and just pour in all of the apples, and then just fold the apples through the apple batter, through the muffin batter, so you end up with apples fully distributed around. Okay, that is perfect. And now we'll move them into our muffin tin. So we'll just fill the muffin tin with our lovely apple muffin batter until all of the muffin tin is full of the lovely apple muffin batter. You can see there's apples poking through everywhere there. Now you can make a crumble topping for this if you want. You can just sprinkle a bit more brown sugar over the top. I'm going to leave it just like this as it is, but yeah, if you want to have a bit more of a sugary coating, you can do that. I find it quite sugary and sweet enough as it's been made just like this, and I'm quite happy with the amount that's in here for us. So now it's going to go into the oven for 25 to 35 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. So I will show you once it's done. The apple muffins have come out of the oven and the house smells absolutely heavenly. You can see them speckled there with the apple. If you wanted to, as I said, you could have popped a bit of sugar on top as well, so they got a bit of a crust topping. So that's how to make my easy apple and cinnamon muffins recipe, and brings us to the end of the video of my 3 easy apple dessert recipes. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, comment too, let me know your favorite way to enjoy apples during apple season, and remember to check down below for the link to the blog post that has all of these recipes and more. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.